Previously on Tales from the 20 side.
We can take a bit of a shortcut through here, I think. But the only trouble is, if we leave the trail and we go into the woods, then Otto's likely to get eaten.
And now we are committed. There is no going back.
Well, no, we can go back. We just go across a different part of the river.
You killed a moment. And now my lady Argentia Malacine is not impressed.
I am a weapon.
You're a weapon, Otto's a fire starter, and I'm a tool.
You burst through the door, and inside the lodge is a scene of utter chaos.
The meddlers. Good. Tepnoton will be pleased.
Well, welcome back, listeners, to Tales from the 20 side, Pathfinder 2nd Edition Let's Play podcast. My name is Dom. I'm a games master for this game and for all of our other games here. And I'm joined by our regular cast members of Mr. Stu Jackson.
Hello.
Mr. Neil Kelly.
Hello.
And Mr. Darren Mafucci.
Hello.
Well, Jeps, how are we doing? Another week in our homes. How's everyone coping?
All right. Baking lots of bread.
That's good. Nice and productive.
Getting by.
Yeah. I'm very fortunate staying with my partner, and she's got a decent sized place.
Yeah, lots of space. That's good.
Yeah, we can avoid each other if needs be.
When needed to, yes.
When not if. Yeah.
Well, my wife turned around to me the other day. I mean, she had to go into work because she's a school teacher, and they're still panicking over exam results and things like that. Like it's a top priority. And she turned around to me and she said, "This is all just normal for you, isn't it? You know, I'll go out to work first thing in the morning, and I'd come home in the evening, you're still in your pyjamas. So, yeah, but I'm an actor, darling. And I work very hard. It doesn't happen that often."
Fantastic. So Darren, I am curious about your bread. I've been seeing some very tasty-looking pictures pop up on the old Book of Faces. So tell us more. What kind of bread have you been making?
Just regular sort of loaves at the minute. I'm trying to master sourdough, so I've got my starter on the go last week, and I've been feeding it every day for the last couple of days. And I decided to make my first sourdough today, so it's in the fridge proofing. I'm using a method that a friend sent me. But yeah, it's going right. I've made a few loaves, one a day for the last few days, and they're sort of getting better each time. Hopefully soon I'll be able to bake an awesome sourdough, and then that's pretty much all I'll do during lockdown is bake sourdough and eat it. Bake more sourdough and eat more sourdough.
I must confess, I'm looking forward to when we're finally able to meet face to face again. And,
I'm going to bake up some stuff for you guys when we can all meet up again.
Looking forward to it immensely.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
I've got to say that. I mean, and I know you are a fantastic chef, Darren, but you're the one saying how brilliant your bread is. There's no requirement to prove that at the moment, is there?
No. Well, I'm not saying it's brilliant. It's getting better. From the first loaf I made to the one I made yesterday, there's been progression, but it's still not great. It's not perfect. It's not perfect.
Oh, but is there any such thing as perfection?
Yeah, that's true.
I think what Stu's saying is we'll be the judge of how.
Yeah.
No, I was just. It does look absolutely brilliant. I mean, you're always posting food porn, and
I
Put the pants on just looking at it.
I haven't cooked this much at home in a long time. Like in the 2 years that I've been living in this flat, I go to work and I cook at work all day, and then I come home and I can't be bothered. So I've been doing loads of cooking. It's great. I made some fresh pasta the other day for the first time in ages, and it was delicious. And I decided that I'm not buying shop-bought pasta anymore. I'm just going to have a constant supply of eggs and flour in the kitchen.
Just make your own.
And just make my own, yeah, because it takes like 15-20 minutes to make enough pasta for a couple of people, and it's nice and easy.
Awesome. Well, now that we've made our listeners good and hungry, I think it's about time to whet that appetite with some role playing. What do you think, folks?
Love the segue.
Yeah, very good.
I try.
Very
I
slick,
try.
yeah. You seduced me into it.
Fantastic. Anyway, bringing us back into our game, folks. Our band of intrepid adventurers, Alwyn Templeton, Brother Amos, and Otto von Niederschläger, had completed the first part of their foray into the Border Wood. They'd rescued the Lady Argentia, taken her back to the town of Heldren. Upon getting back to Heldren, they spent some time doing some business, paid some debts, and discovered an old friend of theirs. Well, I say old friend, a friend who they'd known about 3 days prior to them leaving into the forest, but even so. Augusto Ramirez, alive, hale and hearty, and seemingly fully recovered from his bout of sickness contracted from the rats. You all spent the night swapping stories, and eventually began to make your way back into the Border Wood, with Lady Argentia in tow, as she had requested to accompany you as an extra blade in your journey to go back and help out the bandits that had captured her originally. You made your way back through the Border Wood, and eventually came back across the High Sentinel Lodge. And as soon as you arrived, something wasn't quite right, because you saw what appeared to be a trap of some kind, a crossbow that had been attached to a tree, and then a string running across the ground seemed to have been triggered, and a trail of blood led across the snow to the large oak walls of the High Sentinel Lodge, where Rohkar's raiders are based. Upon arriving at the lodge itself, you became aware of a commotion inside the lodge, and seconds later, one of the bandits known as Rohkar's raiders came flying out of the door, landing on their back, sort of with lots of shards of ice shrapnel embedded in their chest, and they were unfortunately not long for this world, as we may say. You made your way inside the lodge to find yourselves in the middle of a battle between Rohkar's raiders and some of these fairy folk. You engaged them at the behest of Rohkar, lending your support as you'd offered previously. And just as we left off last time, a small flying creature with blue skin, long beak-like nose, and what looked like it was wearing a fur hat of some kind, although quite clearly part of its physiology rather than being a hat, saw you enter through the doors and said,
the intruders.
Before disappearing through one of the windows. And that is where we bring ourselves back in. So, ordinarily this is the part where I would ask you what you want to do, but we rolled for initiative at the end of last session, so you guys are actually in combat. And the first thing that happens here is the door behind you, Otto, opens, and Lady Argentia comes rushing into the lodge. And she comes in. She says, "Oh my! What is happening in here?"
I think this is the business that Captain Rohkar wished us to assist him with. We seem to have
good to
arrived
know.
in the
Good to know. Okay. And she draws her sword, and she rushes to engage this kind of writhing ice snake that was in the centre of the room near the table. But that does take up all 3 of her actions, so that's going to be the end of her turn. It's the end of her turn. It's now around to the bandits themselves. So there's a bit of scuffling here and there. You see they all kind of swing their scimitars semi-effectively at these beasts. You see a couple of little splatters of blood go flying off. One of them, Alwyn, you notice, breaks away from the combat where Captain Rohkar is helping, rushes to a door sort of on your left-hand side, opens it up, and just shouts inside, "Come on, you sick bastards, get out here!" And you see another 4 bandits who look very, very ill, very quite deathly pale themselves, kind of make their way out of this room and start making ready to fight the other creatures in the main chamber. But that is the end of their turn. It's back round to the sprites. And again, you see they kind of flit around here and there, sort of stabbing at the bandits with these sort of dagger type things. One of the bandits off to the right hand side by the hearth does go down, and another one kind of next to him sort of takes a nasty gash into his on the side of his face. And Rohkar himself seems to be fencing quite adeptly with this other sprite that's next to him, and does not take any hits. It's the end of their turn. We're round at last to Alwyn.
These blue spritey creatures, is that the same creature that we saw in the cage in the lodge?
Yes, they do appear quite similar.
So, same species. Okay. So how many sprites are there in the chamber we're in?
You can see 4 of them, and there's 4 of them, and there's one of these other ice elementals, the sort of writhing snake-like creature that's floating in the air that you fought above the river.
Okay. And the one that disappeared, saying, the interlopers or similar. Where did he leave? Is it where he left somewhere I can get to easily?
Not particularly. So, kind of, you're stood right by the door of the lodge, and 35 feet in front of you, you see there's there's a wall opposite you, and then a wall kind of on the left-hand side, and there appears to be you actually recall that that's where you were led upstairs to treat with Captain Rohkar in the first place. And what you heard as this creature kind of darted out of view was the smashing of glass.
Feel that I'm not going to be able to get to him. Okay, who's the most do you know? I think you should take an action. But who is the most injured-looking person around?
The most injured-looking person. So there is a bandit kind of immediately to your left who has just opened up the door where these other bandits have come from. He's looking quite hurt.
Right. So assuming that's one action, looking around at everything going on, I'll take another action to get to him, and I'd like to do battle medicine on him, please.
Sure thing. You are close enough to do battle medicine without having to move, Stu.
Oh, right. Okay. Yes, I'll do that then. So yeah, battle medicine on he. Yeah. 9.
Okay, it's a failure, but it's not a critical failure.
Yeah, which is important.
You kind of quickly slap a bandage on, a nasty gash on his arm, and he kind of nods a thank you to you and moves away from you before you're able to kind of secure it properly.
Okay. And other than that, I will move up next to Captain Rohkar, ready to engage that sprite.
Okay, so if you want to, so from where you are, you can actually move so you're flanking this sprite with Rohkar.
Even better, yeah. Yeah.
You also have Brother Amos on the table, sort of threatening down onto it as well.
Good-o.
Okay. Anything else there, Alwyn?
No, that's it.
Okay. Otto, we're round to you.
Yes. So, which of these adversaries is nearest to me?
So there is the sprite, which is sort of within 10 feet on your right-hand side. It is currently surrounded by Brother Amos, Alwyn, and Rohkar, kind of pressed against the wall. Other than that,
seems to be in hand then.
Other than that, kind of on your left-hand side, you can see that Lady Argentia is engaged with two creatures. There's this ice elemental, this flying snake-like creature that is flanked by her and a bandit, and there is another of these sprites pressed between Lady Argentia and the wall.
I will engage the sprite with an acid splash. I'm going to work through all my cantrips.
Sure, okay. You are aware that Acid Splash will do splash damage to Lady Argentia and the Ice Elemental.
I don't mind the Ice Elemental, but perhaps it's not such a good idea. Would an electric arc hit her as well?
No, Electric Arc is up to two creatures of your choice. So you can actually use that to hit both of them if you wanted.
Yes, I will use that to hit both of them.
Okay. So cast your Electric Arc. It's a reflex save for them. Okay. So the sprite definitely fails. The Ice Elemental seems to succeed. So roll D4 damage for me, please, Otto.
D4 damage. So this dice is extremely hard to pick up. Your fingers just slide off it. And it's a 1.
It's a 1. So it's 1 plus your charisma modifier.
Plus my charisma modifier, which is a charisma. Where's my charisma modifier? Oh yes, plus 3.
Plus 3. Okay, so that's a total of 4 points of damage. You see, kind of the sprite takes this full crackle of electricity, and it kind of jolts out to the ice elemental, which seems to avoid the worst of that, but does still take some damage.
Oh, good.
You've got one action left, Otto.
I think my hand crossbow is in my hand, is it not? So I will load it.
I think. Now, I could be wrong here. I'm happy to give you the benefit of the doubt. I'm pretty sure you loaded it before you came in here.
Yes, I wasn't sure. Oh,
That's
in
okay.
that case, I will have a shot at the sprite.
At the sprite. Okay, roll the attack for me.
Uh, 13 plus. Is it plus my score for ranged strikes?
That's it.
Yep, 18.
That is a hit. Roll your damage there, please, Otto.
See if I can do a bit more damage this time. 2 plus. Is it plus anything?
There's no plus for range strike, sadly.
Right.
Certainly not from your abilities.
Right. So just a 2.
2 points of damage and nasty bolt. You know the bolt. You see this. You loose this bolt. It passes through one of the sprite's wings and embeds itself in the wall. But it's still up and fighting. End of your turn there, Otto. We're around to Brother Amos. So Brother Amos, in case you've forgotten, you are stood kind of on the grand dining table in the centre of the High Sentinel Lodge. To your left-hand side, Lady Argentia is engaged with an ice elemental, and to your right, there is a sprite that is currently flanked by Rohkar and Alwyn. and you can see other smaller. You can see other battles happening further in the lodge.
Who will help Lady Argentia?
Okay.
And I will wallop the ice creature.
Okay. So you're gonna have to use an action to get to it.
Okay.
But you can absolutely do that.
Yes, and then I will use Flurry of Blows.
Okay, so with a couple of death steps, Brother Amos kind of bounds off the table toward the hearth and comes down with a flurry of punches. Roll your 2 attacks for me.
$25. And 11.
Okay, the 25 is just shy of a critical hit, but it is a hit nonetheless. And the 11 is unfortunately a miss.
Okay. 6.
6 points of damage. Yeah, you thump into this creature's icy body, and yeah, it is like punching a slab of ice. It's very cold, as you would expect. Believe you've got 1 action left, Brother Amos.
I will use a powerful fist.
Okay, so you strike, make a 3rd strike. Roll the attack for me.
14.
It's not quite enough. You punch it the first time. The second one misses, and the third one, you think you have it, but it twists at the last second, and your fist just glides off of its icy carapace.
Oh. And that's the end of my turn.
Okay, yeah, it's the end of your turn. Stuff happens that you can't see, because why wouldn't it? Next up is going to be Lady Argentia, and you see, now that she's kind of rushed up to this ice elemental, she's got her sword ready, uses her momentum to carry forward onto it. Oops. Okay, and you see that she makes 2 strikes at this creature. The first one is quite a heavy blow. The second one, not so much. The dice rolling's happening. Yeah, you see, she kind of hacks down onto this ice elemental and takes out, sort of lops off a small segment of the end of its tail, and it sort of writhes seemingly in pain with the first strike. The second strike she goes for, it seems that she loses her footing slightly, and she doesn't get the force she needs to bring the sword through the creature, although it looks like she probably would have had a kill shot there. And for her third action, she's going to... you see, she sort of darts nimbly to her left in order to give you the benefits of flanking, Brother Amos.
Okay.
But that's going to be the end of her turn. It's the bandits. So again, there's another flurry of activity as these bandits sort of cut and slice at these various sprites. You do see one of the sprites sort of behind the hearth sort of get cut clean in two with a quick swipe of a bandit's scimitar, and you see the one that you're kind of next to, Brother Amos, score another nice hit on this ice elemental, which is starting to look quite ropey. But that's the end of their turn. It is now the sprites and everything else. So yeah, again, these sprites sort of dart around with these sort of thin-looking rapiers that are sized for them, sort of stabbing and piercing and thrusting every which way. The bandit who you're next to, Brother Amos, along with Lady Argentia, he also at this point goes down. You see the ice elemental just lunges for his throat and sort of tears it out with gurgle of icy blood.
Is that within 25 foot of Brother Alwyn?
It is within 25 feet.
Liberating step, please.
Ooh, okay. So that's resistance to all damage.
I believe so.
Okay. Yeah, that is actually enough to save his life, Stu. You'll be very pleased to know.
Yay.
Just about. You can see, yeah, this ice elemental gets a good bite on this man's throat, and you kind of flick a bit of divine magic in his direction just before he can tear out the jugular. So there's a lot of blood coming down the front of this guy's face, this guy's chest, but you can see he kind of staggers back to his feet. Ugh. But that's going to be the end of their turn. It's Rohkar. He attempts to strike the sprite between the two of you, Alwyn. And quite deftly slices the wings off of this sprite, and it drops to the floor and dies. And for his last action, you see he dashes past the hearth of the lodge, and is sort of moving to engage another of these sprites in the back of the chamber. It's the end of his turn. Alwyn, you're up.
Okay. So is there room to attack the ice elemental?
There is. So it's currently surrounded by. It's got Brother Amos and Lady Argentia flanking, and there is another. So the bandit whose life you just saved on the other side. But there is space to wade in there if you want to.
Oh right, so I can flank with the guy who nearly went down then.
Yep, you can.
Right. Is it one action to get there?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I'll get in on my first action.
Okay.
Stabby stab with the rapier.
Sure. Roll the attack.
10.
Is not enough to hit, I'm afraid.
Nope. And my last action, I will try and hit again.
Okay.
Oh, much better. 18.
Okay, is that with your multiple attack penalty?
That is taking 5 off for the multiple attack.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, that is a hit, Alwyn.
Yay. 2 points of damage.
Yeah, you think you have it, and it kind of twists away at the last second. But you do catch it as it moves, and you see a shower of ice come flying off it.
Would like to use a free action and call out to Otto. Otto, burn them!
Burn them in here? Is that?
Yes.
Oh.
Just don't miss.
If you say so.
Okay, end of Alwyn's turn.
That would be it. Yeah.
It is Otto.
Well, I think I shall do as directed by Alwyn and produce flame
Okay.
against the specified adversaries.
Okay, so you've got the ice elemental, which is surrounded on 4 sides by your allies, and kind of next to Alwyn, which you can see, there is another one of these sprites.
Yes, I will burn him.
Okay. Yeah.
Alwyn.
Yeah. Well, I can only burn him without burning lots of the bandits and lots of our supposed allies. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. So that's certainly the easiest one to hit. It's also the one that you electrocuted a moment ago.
The one that Alwyn just indicated is the one I electrocuted.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, you electrocuted that one and the ice elemental.
The ice elemental, but I can't produce flame and get the ice elemental without.
Yeah, it's going to be risky just because there's so much happening around it. But you can certainly attack the sprite if you want to.
I'll attack the sprite. I will produce flame.
Okay, roll the attack for me.
And that is a 6.
A 6.
3 plus 3 charisma.
Oof. Ouch. Hang on. Was that the attack roll or the damage?
Oh, that was the damage.
So need to roll to hit first, Otto.
Ah.
D20 plus your spell attack.
So spell attack is 20.
Total of 20.
Total of 20.
Nice. And it was 6 points of damage.
Yes.
Yeah, you watch this sprite kind of recovers from shaking from the electricity. Does manage to score a hit on Lady Argentia in the last round, so I forgot to mention that. You see she gets a nasty cut across her face. And then it kind of goes in for another strike, which never comes because you immolate it, Otto.
Burn in hell.
Well done, Otto.
Yay, one down.
You've got an action left, Otto.
I will reload my hand crossbow.
Okay, so you launch your ball of fire, and then kind of in the same motion as casting that, you whip out another bolt and click it into your crossbow, ready for the next round.
Yes.
End of your turn. It is Brother Amos.
I think I will have a little pop at that sprite.
So the sprite is dead. You've got the ice elemental in the middle
I
of you.
thought it was the ice elemental that got.
No, sorry, that's my fault.
Okay. Well, in that case, I'll have a little pop at the ice elemental.
Roll the attack.
But I have a key strike, but I don't recall what that does because I got that when we leveled up
Okay, so
quite some time ago.
yeah, we've not used it yet. So I believe your key strike is a focus spell.
Right.
So you should have a focus point. Yeah, you should have a focus pool of 1 focus point, which you can use to cast that spell.
Focus point. Is that marked
Yes.
on the sheet somewhere?
It'll probably be on the back page with the spells. Bottom.
Yeah, 1 focus point. But I don't know what it does. Is what I was asking.
Gotcha.
I don't recall
So
what it actually. Yeah. entails.
when you cast key strike, it essentially enhances your attacks. So you can make an unarmed strike or a flurry of blows.
Yeah.
And you get +1 to the attack rolls, and you deal an extra d6 of damage. And the damage can be either force, lawful, negative, or positive.
Okay.
Nice.
So I will use my key strike with my flurry of blows.
Sure. So that's 1 action in total to do that.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, roll your 2 attacks with +1s.
17.
17 is a hit, and the second one
20.
is also a hit. Was that with the -4?
Oh no.
Okay, so
With a
16.
Yeah, 16 with a -4.
It's still a hit.
Okay. And you want 2 damage now.
Yep. So roll your damage as normal, and you're getting an extra 2d6 on top.
Okay. 6. Yeah. And a 5.
Okay, Brother Amos, tell me how you finish off this ice elemental.
I punch straight through its head, and it shatters into a million pieces.
Lovely. And as you do so, it kind of whips round to go for a bite towards you, Brother Amos, and you bury your fist in its mouth. You see the jaw splits open along with the rest of it, and it just kind of splits into many pieces of ice, falls to the ground, and starts melting away.
And then I say, "Chill out.
Okay, Brother Ramos,
Chill out.
Chill out. You've got 2 actions left, Brother Ramos, and there is still a bit of a fight happening behind the hearth.
Okay, then I will make my way towards that fight.
Okay, so let me just check. Okay, so from where you are, you can actually get in a position where you're flanking this sprite with Rohkar.
Okay, then that is what I will do.
Okay, and that's 1 action. You've got 1 left.
I will use my powerful fist.
Okay, roll the attack. This time with -8 because it's your 3rd attack of the turn.
Okay. So that is 10.
It's unfortunately not enough. As you're rushing over, you go to drop a fist onto it, and you don't stop quite as quickly as you'd like to. I think your feet are a bit wet from this ice elemental that you just killed, and you skid slightly, throws you off balance for a moment.
Almost.
End of your turn, Brother Amos. We're round to Lady Argentia, who's sort of seeing this ice elemental go down in front of her, follows suit with you across to where this other sprite is, and makes 2 attacks with the longsword. Okay. Ooh. And with a 3 and a 2 on the die, the first one again, she swings towards it, nearly catches you, Brother Ramos, sort of resets herself and goes for a 3rd strike. And you see she hits the sprite, but the sprite kind of adjusts its momentum downwards as she does so, and kind of rides the blade almost as she swings it downwards.
Slippery little bastard.
And she said, she sort of says, "Ah, you little bastard! Why won't you die?" It's the end of her turn. Round to the.
Spoken like a true lady.
There we go. It's the bandits. So yeah, you see a few. The chap who's just kind of nearly had his throat pulled out. You see he kind of looks around, sees that the situation is mostly under control. Kind of slumps against the wall and starts just trying to stem the flow of blood coming out of his neck. Yeah, the others again kind of see that most of the threats have been dealt with at this point. They stand down almost. But there is one who is still engaged, Brother Amos, next to you. They go in for a series of strikes against this sprite. Okay, and they do get one sort of glancing blow that takes. Looks like it's quite nasty on a creature of this size. It's the end of their turn. It is the sprites. So this sprite that's between you and Rohkar, Brother Amos, sort of turns around angrily to face you, and is going to swing at you with its rapier. Not with that roll, it's not. You duck deftly out the way. It goes for a second strike. You can see it's spitting rage almost. No. Okay. And a third time, very angrily. No, I think 10 is not going to hit your armor class, is it?
No, it's an 18.
18, yeah, okay. So very unsuccessful round for them there. You do see that there's kind of a door off to just kind of behind you and to the left hand side that you know leads to the kitchen where you were led down to see the sprite in the cage. The door kind of opens outwards, and another bandit kind of collapses through the door and lies on the ground, apparently not moving. And you see behind it another of these sprites comes flying out of the kitchen into the main chamber. But that's all it can do. Oh, actually no, it's got one more attack. It's going to go for the bandit who's next to you, Brother Amos. It's flanking with its ally. Oh no, natural one. It's not going to do that. Does it crit fumble? It does not crit fumble. But yeah, that's the end of their turn. Rohkar is also going to have a go. You see, he kind of takes a step back from the fight that you're in, Brother Amos, and you see he clutches his hand to where you'd seen him hide this necklace the first time you met him. He mutters something under his breath, and a tendril of black energy sort of washes out from his hand and washes over his body, and as it does so, you see some of his cuts and wounds close up.
I have a skill feat, Dom. Recognise spell.
Okay. Tell me how that works, Stu.
I need to check, but I can do that quickly.
Skill feat, you say?
Yes.
I found it.
Yeah, as have I. Creature within line of sight casts a spell that you don't have prepared or in your spell repertoire. You must be aware of the casting. If you are trained in the appropriate skill for the skill's tradition and it's a common spell of second level or lower, you automatically identify it. But you roll. It's a roll to.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. You recognise this as the heal spell.
Okay.
Just a bit
Black energy.
a bit different to what you're used to. I would imagine.
Cool.
Of course, you do know. You do recall that Rohkar has confessed to being a follower of Norgava, so perhaps that has something to do with it.
Oh yes, I yeah. Stu can put two and two together on that.
Yes. Alwyn has got 17.
Yeah, yeah.
Speaking of Alwyn, that's the end of Rohkar's turn. It's Alwyn.
Okay. Can Alwyn get to the guy that's on the floor, apparently not moving?
Who's just kind of collapsed through the door.
Yeah.
Yes. You got to sort of wind your way through quite the melee, but you can get there.
How many actions will it take to get to him?
Speed's 25, correct?
Yeah.
You can get there in one action.
Okay, I'll get there in one action. Is he alive or?
No, he's not moving at all. Sorry, she's not moving at all in this case.
Okay, and dead. Dead.
Yes.
Not unconscious, dead.
Not just dead. Dead.
Okay. Next action will be to get to the chap who nearly died. And perform battle medicine on him.
Okay, yes, because you haven't done it on him. So yeah, that's fine. So yeah, you kind of rush through the melee, rush back through the melee, and you give this guy your battle medicine.
Oh no, natural one. Shit. I'm going to use my hero point.
Okay. Okay.
Rather than kill him. Come on. Oh, that's better. Rolled a 14, so 19.
That's a big improvement, Stu. Roll the 2d8 for me.
5 total.
Okay. Bringing him up to 6 hit points.
That might make a difference.
There you go. I believe that's the end of your turn, Alwyn.
That would be it for me, yeah.
Okay, it's round to Otto. So Otto, you're still by the door of the lodge. From where you are, you can hear that there's a commotion happening behind the hearth, but you can't see what's happening. It's a big wide hearth and it obstructs your view.
Is that the nearest? Is that the only thing that's going on in my vicinity?
Certainly seems to be. Your timely arrival seems to have helped turn the tide in this.
Then I will have a look behind the hearth. I will advance.
Okay. What's your speed, Otto?
I do have fleet step, but I don't know if that's appropriate. No, so my speed is. Where's my speed?
Just underneath your ability scores.
Oh yes, 20 feet.
Let's see. Okay. So it's going to take you 2 actions to get behind the hearth, but you can do so, and you find yourself with Lady Argentia on the right hand side. On your right hand side, there's a sprite kind of 10 feet in front of you that looks to be engaged with another bandit, and kind of beyond Lady Argentia on her right, you can see that there is another sprite that's looking quite ropey. So there's 2 sprites left that you can see.
I think I will engage the nearest one with my crossbow, and my one remaining.
Okay, so you fire your crossbow at the sprite kind of toward the back of the lodge. Roll the attack.
Yes. And it's 6 plus 5, 11.
Oh, unfortunately, 11 is not enough to hit it. You lift up the crossbow and you loose your bolt, and there's a satisfying thud as it hits into the wood, but you realise that you've completely missed the creature.
Ah, well. I tried to help. I'm sure it alarmed him.
Yes. End of Otto's turn. It's Brother Amos.
Okay. So I'm going to take a swipe at the little blue fella. Maybe I don't see how to swipe at.
Yep, the one you're kind of in front of.
Yeah,
Roll
yeah.
attack.
Mm-hmm. 23.
23 is a hit.
And 21.
They're both hits. Roll your damage. Was that flurry of blows?
Yes. So
Sure.
2 and a 4.
Oh, it's just enough to take it down. So with your first strike, you sort of batter it lightly, and you manage to grab hold of it as you do so. And with the second strike, you just reach out and you twist its head, and its neck breaks.
Nice.
And it goes limp in your grasp. You've still got 2 actions left. There is.
Yep, sorry, carry on. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
That's all right. So, kind of from where you are, if you take a step, you'd need to move 1 square, but you can get into range of the last sprite if you wish.
Yes, I'll do that.
Okay. So you move in, and are you making an attack?
Yeah, I'll do a powerful fist.
Okay. Roll the attack.
26.
Okay. With the multiple attack penalty,
Where's that 4?
it'd be 8. It's the second
8.
attack of the turn. Third attack of the turn.
So 18.
It's still a hit. So roll the damage.
1.
Is that including your strength, Brother Amos?
Strength. Where's that? Where do I find strength?
Ability
Strength.
score.
Strength modifier on the ability scores.
No, that's a 4 then.
Lovely.
I hadn't been adding that on the last couple of attacks.
Fair enough. That's why. Okay. That's why it took.
That's why
so
we're still
longer than
fighting.
expected.
So I'm very, very sorry, General. I'm still hungover.
You could have sorted this whole thing out.
Been pulling your punches.
The rum gives me a terrible hangover.
Okay. So that ends your turn, Brother Amos. We're back round to Lady Argentia, who kind of steps between Otto and this last sprite. Between Alwyn and this last sprite, so she can be in a good position with the other bandit. She rolls 2 sword attacks. Okay. You can see her first strike, she manages to again carve a decent strike on this sprite. You see a little fountain of blood come spraying off it, and her second strike goes a little bit wide, and you actually see it catches kind of the door frame next to it, and the sword gets embedded in the door frame. She rolled a natural 1.
Oh!
Gonna be back.
Oh, does she draw a crit card?
That was what she drew.
Right. Okay, that makes perfect sense then.
Okay, we're on to the bandits. This should be a fairly done deal, but let's see what happens. Yeah, so this last bandit, this bandit kind of on your left-hand side, Brother Amos, lunges in with his scimitar and gets just enough on this last sprite to kind of cause a fountain of blood to come out of his chest, and it drops to the floor with the weight of the blow and dies.
Wonderful.
So yeah, you sort of glance around yourselves, looking to see if there are any more threats. You're sort of panting and catching your breath, and Rohkar kind of approaches you all and says, "Right, thanks for your assistance there, gents, and lady, what a surprise to see you back here." Anyway,
we couldn't keep her away. She missed you, I think.
I see. Well, how curious. Well, she's certainly a feisty one. I'll give her that. Happy to be on this side of her sword this time.
Oh.
Everyone all right?
Oh, I'm all right. Anyone hurt? I think some of your men are a bit hurt.
Yeah, useless they are. No, I'm sure they did their best, but yeah. All right, guess we better see what the damage is.
Alwyn will go, and I'm aware Lady Argentia's been hurt. But what about this other bandit?
Which one? Sorry.
So there's a bandit, the one that's just taken down the sprite.
Oh, yeah. He looks to have light injuries. You know, guessing. He looks like he's got about half his hit points.
So does he look worse or better than?
He looks
Argentia?
He looks. He looks worse than Lady Argentia. Sorry.
Okay. I'll go over and heal him.
Sure.
First then. I'm basically doing triage.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll. He's not the one I've done battle medicine on, is he?
No, he's not.
Okay, I'll do battle medicine on him then. 19. So 24.
There we go. Roll your 2d8.
Okay. Oh, he gets 4 points of back.
Okay, yeah, he's looking much better.
And then Lady Argentia.
Okay.
Oh, natural 20.
There we go. So critical success, is that 4d8?
48. I have to rummage around now, trying to get enough d8s. There we go. It's a good job I've got thousands and thousands and thousands of dice. That is 10, 14 hit points back.
Yeah, no, you quite deftly patch the wound on her face. It was starting to bleed quite a lot, but you managed to set it and stop it from gushing anymore. And yeah, you quite easily take her back to full health.
Okay, and is Captain Rohkar still injured?
you see that whilst you've been doing this, he's kind of muttered under his breath again, and you've seen the vast majority of the rest of his wounds close up.
Okay, and very quickly, the last couple of things. The guy, I'm presuming the guy who nearly died, who Alwyn saved with his liberated step, I'm assuming he's the worst in the room, health-wise?
Yeah. I mean, there's these other 4 bandits who were called out of another room. They look ill. They look quite noticeably ill rather than wounded. But in terms of, like, hit points and stuff... the guy whose life you saved does look the worst in the room.
Right, I'd like to cast Lay on Hands on him, so he gets another 6 hit points back.
Okay.
And then I will tend to the others and see what I can do for them.
So the ones who are ill-looking, were they ill before this happened, or have they become ill as a result?
Are you? Who are you asking?
I'm asking Captain Rohkar. Were these people already ill?
What these for?
Yes.
Yeah, no, they've been bedridden for a couple of days. Got the chilblain shakes, we think.
Oh, I see.
Has Alwyn heard of that? Does he know what that is?
You can give me a medicine check there, Alwyn.
Oh, no I can't. Rolled a 2, so 7.
It's nothing you've come across.
I've no idea what that is. Come on, I'll see if I can treat you anyway.
Would I recognise goblin pox as I have the power to inflict it?
You probably would. This is not goblin pox.
Yes. I can tell you categorically this is not goblin pox.
Okay, that rounds it down, thank you.
So what are you attempting to do for these people, Stu? Because treat disease as an action is 8 hours of care.
Yeah, I don't really want to be doing that. It's more tending to them, making them comfortable.
Okay, so if you... you're kind of taken... And you do notice that now this fight is finished, they've already started taking themselves back into the room that they were in beforehand. Yeah. Are you still helping with them if you can?
I'll help them and tuck them in and make them comfortable, make sure they've got plenty of fluids. And once that's done, I'm going to just take myself 10 minutes away just to sip from the hip flask and reconvene.
Sure. Whilst you're doing that, Alwyn, can you give me a fortitude save, please?
Oh. 14.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, I love that. Okay.
Okay, so you minister to these people, then you take yourself off to reconnect with your focus. What's everyone else doing?
I'd like to talk to Rohkar and find out what's been going on.
Of course. So you approach Captain Rohkar. He's kind of cleaning the blood of these fairy things off of his sword, and all right there. What can I do for you?
I think I would be part of this conversation too.
Of course. Well, must say, glad to be proved wrong. I wasn't sure you were going to come back. Thank you.
Neither were we.
Good to know. Good to know.
I'm joking, of course, my dear Captain Rohkar.
No, I'd almost prefer that you weren't. Good to know that we understand each other.
So,
yes.
What was all this about?
I'm an idiot. I shouldn't have got cocky. Izoze, that blue one who flew off out the window. She came calling. Wanted to check up on how we were doing. Found that the good lady had gone. Wasn't happy about that. Found our blue friend downstairs as well was even less happy about that, as you might imagine. Left for not even an hour. Came back with all these pricks, and you saw the rest.
Where do you think she may have gone?
Hell if I know. I know she normally... she's got a little hidey hole on the other side of the ravine. If she's not there, and I don't expect you'll find her there, I expect she's gone back to tell Teb Notton what she's seen here.
You mean the ravine that is traversed by that very rickety-looking rope bridge?
Yeah. It's if you are going over it, watch your step. It's not dangerous. It's it is well secured, but obviously weather and all that.
And I don't suppose you know the whereabouts of Teb Notton.
See, the thing is, actually, I must confess I do. I'll tell you what, if you're still serious about helping me out, and by the fact you're here, it looks like you are, thank you. One of my, and he sort of looks around the lodge to see who's left standing. If you want, I can send a guide with you, show you where to go.
Guide would be very useful.
So what are we aiming for here? Ultimately, are you hoping for a peaceful coexistence and cooperation with Teb Notton, or is this a search and destroy mission?
Nah, talking's out the window now. Izoze won't have it. She knows I've betrayed her, because I have. It's true. Can't deny it. So she, before you came here, they were fixing to kill us. So no, this problem needs to be dealt with permanently.
Right.
Well, that settles that then.
No question of returning to the negotiating table as a result of our victory here.
It's not going to happen.
Not to negotiate from a vantage point of strength. We will simply press home our advantage.
I like the way you think, Dwarf. But yes, exactly that. Trust me. When Teb Notton is that we've quote unquote won here, he'll send more. There'll be more. We need to deal with this problem at the source.
And if we go to the source, there will be more there, will there not?
Well, quite possibly. But what I'm trying to say is, no matter how long this goes on for, they are going to keep coming at us until they kill us.
So perhaps we can achieve an element of surprise by going after them.
Exactly. They might catch them while they're still preparing the next wave.
I like surprises.
Well, it will be good to catch them out in the open in large numbers, and I can fully try out my spells and cantrips and, on an entirely hostile field.
Yes, well, I've seen you flicking fire and stuff around. That's quite a trick.
Yes, you have to be. Of course, you have to be careful when innocent parties or people who are fighting on your side are close by. But it'll be nice to have the opportunity to just let rip.
Indeed. Must confess, I'd like to be there to see that, but I've got to stay here, make sure these idiots are kept in line.
You're not intending to come with us?
I'm not, I'm afraid, but as I say, I can send you a guide to show you where to go.
Or perhaps a detachment of your men. We might need all the help we can get.
A detachment? What do you think this is? The fucking army? Look around you.
Yes, a detachment. Maybe half your men come with us.
Half my men, so that's...
Is that...
Not counting the ones who are sick, that's a total of 2 men.
Well, that's better than 1.
I'll tell you what, Otto, give me a persuasion check.
And it's a... What do I add to my score?
Diplomacy, perhaps?
Diplomacy, yes. So in that case, it is a total of 6.
Okay. He looks at you. His mouth sort of curls into a bit of a sneer. He says, "No, I'm sorry, I can't I can't spare more than one. 10 penny will see you right though, won't you? 10 penny. And
10 penny.
you can see that this particular bandit, who is a half-orc individual, kind of pipes up and says, I can do that.
Very well then, 10 penny. You will be our bandit guide.
All right. Well, just say the word and we can move out.
The word.
The word. Are we ready to move out? I just got here, so I haven't unpacked or anything. I'm ready to go.
Okay. So if you guys are ready to kind of head straight back out, you can absolutely do that if you so wish.
Perhaps we need to discuss some strategy first, where we're actually going and what we will do when we get there, what our plan is. So perhaps Captain Rohkar, you can tell us where you think we should head for, where we might find Ted Norton or Izoze.
Well, all right. First off, you want to cross that bridge there.
Yes.
After that, 10 penny will lead you along the trail. It's not really marked so well. We don't use it that much. We try and keep away from them.
Do you have a map or a diagram?
I don't have a map as such. We can draw you a sort of makeshift map, as it were. So first off, you want to cross that bridge, follow the trail. As I say, it's not marked very well. We don't use it often, but 10 penny here can show you where you're going. You'll go past this creepy-looking hut that they've put up in the middle of a clearing. That's how you'll know you're getting close. And beyond that, it's only a couple more miles into the Samir Valley, and you'll know it when you find it. Trust me.
Good. Well,
what are we thinking then, gentlemen?
I have some ideas. Perhaps I'll impart them when we're.
Do they involve burning things?
Yes, indeed.
It's good. My ideas involve punching things.
and you do that very well.
Okay. So at this point, Owen, like about 10 minutes has passed. You've got your focus point back.
Cool. Wander back through to. Hello. You're looking very serious.
Yes, we had a conversation with Captain Rohkar here, and we think the best plan is to go after Ted Norton and Izoze before they can regroup and send another attack force here. Once they hear that their initial probing attack has been routed, they will want to follow up. So we must.
Strike while the iron's hot, eh?
Yes.
Yes, right. Oh, quick question, Captain Rohkar. Have you come across chap in the last couple of days, Dryden Kep?
Can't say I have. Actually, no, I tell a lie. There was some. Did see some guy sniffing around the forest. Looked like a hunter of sorts. Didn't look like he had much on him, so we left him be.
A human looking with the head.
Certainly had a head. Couldn't tell you if he was human or not. Quite a way away, you see. There was definitely some figure skulking in the woods.
Okay.
What is your thinking? Are you still concerned for the safety of this Dryden Kep, or are you thinking maybe this could be another hand to the wheel who could help us?
Oh no, just we were asked to keep an eye open for him, so I just thought I'd ask the good captain. Okay. So, Leia Janti, are you coming with us on the next leg of this journey?
Why, of course. I would love to see this adventure to its end. I feel it has only just begun.
Let's hope it's not an end.
Very handy to have. I would be pleased to have you with us.
Yes, well, and Rohkar, as he hears this, Rohkar bursts out laughing. He says, "Handy, you got that right." Did she tell you what she did to my men?
No. We haven't had a conversation about that.
She killed Dervin and Bobby, and she gave Anne's a new arse crack. Except this one was sideways.
Oh. Yes, very handy indeed then.
Indeed. Took 6 of my men to bring her down before we got that sword out of her hand, and then yes, rest is history, as they say.
Good. Well, that sword in the hand will be very handy for us.
Indeed. Have you been able to pull us out of the woodwork yet?
Oh yeah, kind of over this time you see she's been working at it, and it eventually comes free.
Ah, that's good.
So do we move out then, gentlemen? And
Yes, let us move out.
Okay, so you gather yourselves, you get all your gear, and you begin to make your way out of the High Sentinel Lodge. As you're doing so, Rohkar calls after you, says, sorry, wait, just one moment, just one last thing. Middle name is Columbo, obviously. Just one last thing. Got something here that might be useful for you. Wait there. And he pops upstairs, back to presumably back to the room that you met him in previously, and he comes back downstairs with quite a long bundle, and he says, "Yeah, if you're fighting more of them Fey folk, this might come in useful for you." And he unwraps it, and you see that there is a fairly basic longsword, but you notice that the blade kind of has a faint bluish tinge to it. This is cold iron. Fey folk don't like it. I was keeping this in case we moved against Tebnot and ourselves, but as you're going, I feel you can make use of it.
We are obliged.
That's very thoughtful of you.
Thank you. Very kind.
No, thank you. He says, "Well, go on, off with you. 10 penny, get going."
Yes, 10 penny, lead the way.
The 10 penny kind of gets up from the table, checks her gears. You see, this is a female half-orc, and she begins to lead you out of the lodge. And that is where we're going to end it for this session, folks.
Tales from the 20 Side is a Feagle Films production in association with Juicy Falls. Music by Nazar Ryback from hooksounds.com, editing by Stu Jackson. Find us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram by searching Tales from the 20 Side or by visiting talesfromthe20side.com.